Hello and welcome to the Tavern Chat podcast. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog, Discord server, Amiibo group, Facebook group, Twittering, Instagram, and, lest we forget, youtube.com/Eric Tenkar. Additional content, live recordings. Mike and I will probably, when I say Mike, bad Mike and I, Mike Battleletto will probably be doing our Talking Crit episodes on Wednesday night that you will hear on this podcast, but we'll probably record them live via YouTube. So if you wish to participate, give live feedback, ask questions, watch us screw up as it happens. It's the way. So today, we're in like Halloween season, right? It's October 26th. So we are 5 days away from Halloween. Halloween's always that holiday, non-gaming wise, that I always enjoyed. You know, you buy the candy, you throw out to the kids, you know, fill their bags, rot their teeth. Always fun, right? This year is probably going to be a bit different. I think this year we're going to put out a box of candy, sign, please take one, and hopefully you don't have a bunch of jackasses taking hands full and running off down a block. But yeah, you know, world of COVID, right? World of COVID. But back in the early days, back in my gaming 1.0 days, which lasted up until March of 97, I used to run Halloween-themed adventures. And what do I mean by that? Well, I would occasionally run Call of Cthulhu, a one-shot, or Chill. See, like Call of Cthulhu, I don't think we ever tried to really do a campaign. When we did do CoC, it was one-shot because really with CoC, you don't expect to survive, right? You expect, if only half your party gets decimated, they probably did pretty well or pretty poorly and got nowhere near stopping the great ones and the overwhelming evil. But with Chill, you could have a bit of a campaign. It was a bit more, I don't want to say pulpy, but it was a less lethal, almost before its time, X-Files type of deal. You know, it kind of took on that atmosphere. But what I did enjoy running around the Halloween season, and I would occasionally do a short campaign set in it, was Ravenloft. Now, the great thing about Ravenloft is that the way the setting was set up, you could drag your players in, your adventuring group in, for a one-shot. You know, the mists overcome them. As the mists clear, they're no longer where they were. They are now in one of the realms of Ravenloft. And that's how I usually ran it. And I remember running them through the created. And I actually had to look this up, and I found it of all places, RPG Net. Woohoo! But I ran the created. Oh, yeah, sorry, that is the beer, the mini beer keg pressurizing. But the created. Now, it came out in 93. I've read it at least twice. Basically, it's kind of like Pinocchio. It's kind of like a Golem. The summary that they give here on RPGNet is, beware what you wish for it might come true, was an old Vistani saying. Now, remember, You can't have those sayings from the Vistani, right? Because they're an analog to gypsies and therefore racist, but that's a whole other topic. In the small town of Odiari, a toy maker has whisked a puppet to life, only this puppet is not a friendly, playful toy. It's a thing of evil, bent upon killing all the adults in Odiari. When the player characters are trapped within this town, Maligno, the puppet, and his animated toys begin to hunt them down. The PC's only chance for escape is to defeat the mad marionette. If that sounds like a silly setup, it played out like a silly setup. And here's the thing. You can play horror two ways. You can play horror slapstick, or you can play horror on a more realistic bump in the night. When you're playing it like Chucky, which to me is over the top slapstick, you tend not to really scare people when you're trying to do it as an RPG, and that's why Call of Cthulhu works so well, and that's why even not necessarily this adventure, but other Ravenloft adventures work better because they keep a lot of stuff offset. Okay, they keep it to a point where the players are assuming stuff, and I think that that's part of the reason why Call of Cthulhu works so well. The players get just enough information, usually as the scenario is written, to fill in the blanks with stuff that is, well, all right, maybe not worse, but stuff that's pretty damn bad and probably has nothing to do with the scenario they're looking in front of them. The situation that they see, the body, the blood, whatever, has nothing to do with what they're thinking it does, right? And then then we get the big reveal. It's like, oh my god, it's even worse. That is a well-written way to run horror. All this really is telling me that I need to go and I need to break out my latest edition of the CoC rules. I think my first was a second or a third copy of the box set, and then I had the 5th edition, 6th. I believe 7th is the latest. I have that. I got to do an episode one day on how the Call of Cthulhu Kickstarter nearly killed Chaosium. But hey, all that for another time, right? So, my question to you, the listening audience, what are you doing game-wise to celebrate Halloween? I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm going to be reading Call of Cthulhu probably this Saturday, maybe even Friday night, to get myself in the mood to run a scenario with it. But what are you doing? Are you running a horror-themed game? It's a Saturday, right? A lot of gaming groups, even virtually, get together on Saturdays. What are you doing? Leave me a voicemail. Yes, Anchor fixed the, I don't know what you want to call it, the invisible tavern. Now, if you have the Anchor app and you search for 10 Cards Tavern, Tavern Chat, you can find it. And you can add it as a favorite, and you can send a voicemail through the app, right? Or you can use Google Number. Now, I'm going to have to play stupid here because I know my first 3 digits of my Google Number. I know my last 4 digits because my lovely wife, Rachel, wonderfully pointed out to me that, hey, it's your shield number, stupid. And, she was right. But 347 509 5168. You can call me. That's the Google number for this show. Tell me what you're doing for Halloween game-wise. I mean, I have a friend from my old gaming group who dresses up every Halloween to scare the trick-or-treaters. I mean, goes in all out. Sets up his house like it's a haunted horror show in front of it. God bless him. I don't go that far. I won't even put out like fake spider webs. The kids will be happy to get, candy. right? But are you running games? Or are you reading fiction? Are you got movies set up that you're going to be watching that night? Tell me what you're doing. I want to know. You know what? The listeners want to know too. Maybe you'll inspire somebody. Folks, you're in the midst of the world of COVID. What does that mean? It means use your common sense to keep yourself, your family, your loved ones, your friends, your community safe. If you are unsure what actions to take or what precautions to take, seek professional medical advice. I am not a medical professional. I am not telling you. I am not instructing you. I'm suggesting that you seek professional medical advice and, in lieu of that, use your common sense. Common sense gets us pretty far in life. Folks, as always, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. And I will talk with you all tomorrow. Later, folks.